The acquisition of horse racing sponsorships is like finding hen's teeth. And it is for this reason that Phumelela Gaming and Leisure was delighted to announce that SAP is their new sponsor in this beautiful sport of thoroughbred horse racing. The Vaal Racecourse's greatest event, formerly known as the Emerald Cup, is now the Supreme Cup, sponsored by SAP. The race will take place on Saturday, the 26th of September. As usual, there will be a sand meeting at the Vaal on Thursday preceding the event. And this year, the meeting will coincide with Heritage Day, enhancing the fan experience. Phumelela Marketing and Sales Executive Clyde Basel commented, "We are delighted to partner with SAP, the world's largest provider of enterprise application software, and our sincere thanks to Brett Parker for supporting such a great event on this year's racing calendar. The richest race in Africa, the richest race on sand throughout the continent." As a market leader in enterprise application software, SAP helps companies of all sizes and industries run better. From back office to boardroom, from warehouse to storefront, from desktop to mobile device. SAP empowers people and organizations to work together more efficiently and use business insight more effectively to stay ahead of the competition. SAP applications and services enable more than 291,000 customers to operate profitably, adapt continuously, and grow sustainably. And so, to the launch. How blessed are we to be out here on the Vaal River, very close to the actual circumstance of the event, and so good to have new blood in this wonderful sport of thoroughbred horse racing, Brett.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. I mean, it's a wonderful setting, awesome event. We're really proud to be part of it and looking forward to the day. It's really very exciting for us.
Obviously, when you take a look at a great event like the Vodacom Durban July, we all know that it had its predecessor, which was Rothmans. Due to legislation, that was phased out. You've got a very solid grounding with the Emerald Cup, which is no competitive to you. They probably use your product in any event, but tell us first of all a little bit about SAP that the average man in the street doesn't know.
So SAP, first of all, it's a business that started as an ERP company. We've been in business for 43 years. Today we have many different solutions that assist our customers with what we call digital transformation journeys. We're the number one business when it comes to mobile solutions with the most number of users worldwide. We're number one in business analytics, and many of our business analytics solutions are used real time in sport today. We're also the number one in cloud. We're the fastest growing database company in the world, and we're pretty excited about the opportunities we have. And the other thing I'll say is we're very fortunate to have many wonderful customers throughout the world that support our journey and are part of it. So pretty exciting times for us as a company.
Well, the two that immediately come to mind are two of South Africa's most famous sportsmen ever in Ernie Els and Gary Player.
Yeah, so Ernie Els and Gary Player are very unique individuals, and I've met them both personally, and you know, they're absolutely amazing people. The things that they do around the world are absolutely mind-blowing. There are not many people that that get involved in the activities that they get involved in, and they've been close friends of our company and also of our founder and the family and so on for many years. So really great to have them as an extension of our business.
SAP has just been an unbelievable support system for all our charitable endeavors. I've been their ambassador for many years now, since 2003. So we've come a long way.
The first tournament in the spring, the first major championship, you're in for a treat, irrespective how many times you've been here before.
You were talking in your opening address today about the basic premise of how the SAP Supreme Cup came to fruition on a little journey to Epsom Downs.
Yeah, Andrew, I was very fortunate to be invited by Investec to the Investec Derby. It was an incredible experience, a whole weekend of racing at a completely different level to what I'd ever seen in the past. And through those relationships and discussions with some of the directors of Investec, we decided that we would jointly get involved in sponsoring something locally. Obviously we had to go through process with an SAP to get that approved, which we did. But I think the beauty of what we've done is it's not just, this is not about SAP. I mean, we're fortunate to put our brand behind it, but at the end of the day, we have our partners involved too. We have Dimension Data involved, we have Brighthouse involved, and we have Investec, who we partner a lot with in terms of financing our solutions, helping our customers realize value, of their technology and being able to pay for the technology as they realize value. So for us, it's a great partnership and great to have them on board as sponsors as well.
Really, South Africa have got so much to be proud of, not least of all the fact that Mrs. Plattner is domiciled for many months of the year down at Fancourt.
Yeah, I had the privilege of meeting Mrs. Plattner quite recently. I hadn't met her before. And what struck me was just the energy and what an amazing lady she is. And, she lives in Cape Town, but she spends an enormous amount of time working in Africa, helping uplift the lives of people in Africa. People don't know that. And, it's just incredible. And the time and energy that would take for someone to do that. And she's very passionate about education, and she strongly believes that education is the key to changing the lives of people on the continent. So a great privilege to meet and spend some time with her as well.
I'm sure that there are hundreds and hundreds of apps that are connected with SAP in some shape or form, but one of your business partners on the boat was telling me about an app that has been developed with particular regard to show jumping, which is one of the big followings and the big sports in Europe.
Yes, Andrew. We have a sports industry focus at SAP, and it's largely based around real-time analytics, our ability to analyze data immediately as it's happening. It's built on what we call the HANA platform. HANA is an in-memory solution which allows us to get access to the data, at a real-time level. So we've used smart technologies, tagging and other things on show jumpers so that people can enjoy the sport. It's based around the fans, so fans can see what the round looked like, how the horse moved between the jumps, and also analyze what the probable scoring would look like, etc. So it's a fan's way of participating through, an iPad or some other device that they could choose, an iPhone or a Samsung device, or whatever it may be, to be able to get access to that data as it's happening and as the horse is going around the circuit. And then, we've developed many in other sports. I mean, if I had to think about football, when Germany won the World Cup, and they beat Argentina, they knew through the HANA environment and analytics that they had to shut down Messi in a certain part of the field. And therefore, at that particular area of the field, if Messi had only one defender on him, there was an 8 out of 10 chance that he would score a goal. And that type of analytical information changes the whole capability of the coach and the team to prepare for major sporting events. So those are the kind of things we do. And then many other events, tennis and baseball and American football and others, where SAP are giving fans access to this type of data so that they can interact with their players, see what decisions are being taken on the field. They can even do things like have a look through the app on what the queues are doing, so that they don't have to get there too early and queue for such a long time. So there's a lot of smart stuff happening in sports. It's really exciting, and for us, getting involved in the Supreme Cup is kind of an extension. It's our first involvement in it. We may put together some analytics of our own on the day just to have a bit of fun with our customers, but it's definitely, horse racing is a sport that we could quite easily participate in from a technology perspective as well.
Well, in that last little discussion, we went around the world and we came back to horse racing, and that's where I want to pick it up. In America and in Hong Kong and in Dubai and Singapore, they use a device called Trackers, which tells you the exact distance that the horse traveled in the race to the millimeter, which is obviously all GPS driven. It's a very expensive system, but there's every real possibility that SAP may well be able to implement that in the race next year, given the time of preparation.
Yeah. So Andrew, we actually have somebody who's based in Montreal. His dad was an ex-trainer. He's part of the sports industry team on the development side, and he's busy looking at smart ways for trainers around the world to be able to, train their horses, monitor their progress, measure how they're doing in the preparations up to a race, and even give owners, real-time feedback on what's going on with their horses. And I think, from my personal perspective, as an owner myself, it's one of the areas where I think we could always do better is in the communication aspect. So if we could get something like that landed in the horse racing industry at the right kind of investment, then that would be, I think, would be great for the whole industry globally.
I'd like to finish on a very, very poignant and important note. A man called Bernard Canto, we know, is passionate to the last part of his DNA about thoroughbred horse racing, but he had to convince his board that it was the right thing to do to get involved in the Investec Derby. It's now the longest standing sports sponsorship in sport in England, which is an incredible statistic. We know that you're involved to a lesser degree than Mr. Canty in ownership of racehorses, but it must be passion driven in order for you to have fun in this beautiful sport.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andy. Look, I mean, I wouldn't mention what we're doing in the same breath as Investec or Mr. Canner for that matter. I mean, these guys have done an unbelievable thing there. I mean, it's just incredible. And in fact, Investec as a company, what they've done with sports around the world. I'm very passionate about racing. I mean, I've been involved since I was kind of 4 years old. My father was a bookmaker, and I was very close to racing, rode horses most of my life, and you know, I'm fortunate to be able to be part of this event and this opportunity. And I think for SAP, you know, if we keep the partnerships right and we manage to, you know, do the right things around events like this, it helps us in terms of getting the messages across in the right way and also participating with some key decision makers. So I think for us, it's a great opportunity. We're excited and we're looking forward to the day.
Final question: how did you come up with the name the Supreme Cup?
I'd love to take the credit for that, but it was Clyde and his team. So they decided Supreme Cup would be a really kind of catchy name for it, and they asked us whether we'd be okay to go Supreme Cup sponsored by SAP. And of course, you know, for us, it was just great to be part of it. So we're happy with the name, and we think it's a name that'll stay for many years to come, I'm sure. You know, so good choice by Clyde and the team.